Stephen Hendry, born on January 13, 1969, in South Queensferry, Scotland, is widely regarded as one of the greatest snooker players of all time. Growing up in a working-class family, Hendry showed an early interest in sports, particularly snooker. His father, a keen amateur player, introduced him to the game at a young age. However, it was Stephen's natural talent and unrelenting dedication that propelled him to the top of the sport. Hendry's early years in snooker were marked by a single-minded pursuit of excellence. As a teenager, he quickly made a name for himself within the Scottish snooker scene, showcasing his raw talent and composure at a young age. In 1985, at the age of just 16, Hendry won the Scottish Amateur Championship, signaling his potential to become one of the sport's future stars. His meteoric rise continued when, at the age of 16, he turned professional in 1985. Hendry's breakthrough came in 1986, when he reached the final of the British Open, becoming the youngest player to ever do so. By 1988, Hendry had already established himself as a rising star, earning a place in the top 32 of the world snooker rankings. His blend of mental toughness, technique, and powerful break-building abilities quickly marked him out as a potential future world champion. The 1990s would prove to be Stephen Hendry's most dominant period in his illustrious career. In 1990, at the age of 21, he won his first World Snooker Championship, defeating the legendary Jimmy White in the final. This victory was a significant milestone in Hendry's career, as it announced him as a new force in snooker. His mental toughness, the ability to handle pressure, and sharp tactical approach earned him instant respect from his peers. However, it was the 1990s that truly marked Hendry's ascent to the pinnacle of snooker. He went on to dominate the sport throughout the decade, winning an astonishing 7 world championships between 1990 and 1999. This record was unprecedented, and his ability to win consistently in the sport's most prestigious events solidified his reputation as the best player of his era. Hendry's tactical brilliance and break-building ability were second to none, and he quickly became the player to beat in every major tournament. During this time, Hendry's rivalry with the likes of Steve Davis, Ronnie O'Sullivan, and John Higgins became a key feature of the snooker landscape. Hendry and Davis, in particular, had a long-running rivalry that spanned much of the 1990s. Hendry's defeat of Davis in the 1990 World Championship final marked the beginning of a new era in snooker, with Hendry emerging as the sport's new dominant force. He would go on to defend his title in 1992, establishing himself as the undisputed king of snooker. Stephen Hendry's career is a testament to his consistency, mental strength, and unrelenting drive for success. Some of his most significant achievements include 7 World Snooker Championships. Hendry's record of 7 World Championships, achieved in 1990, 1992, 1993, 1994, 1995, 1996, and 1999, is one of the most remarkable feats in snooker history. His reign as the sport's top player during the 1990s was unmatched, and his ability to perform on the biggest stage was key to his success. Snooker's No. 1 ranking for 8 consecutive years, Hendry's dominance extended to the world rankings. He held the No. 1 spot for an incredible 8 consecutive seasons, from 1990 to 1998. This feat underlined his consistent excellence and unparalleled dominance of the sport during the 1990s. The Masters and UK Championship titles. Hendry won the Masters, one of snooker's most prestigious invitational events, an impressive 6 times, cementing his place as one of the best players of his generation. He also won the UK Championship 5 times, further solidifying his place in the sport's elite circle. Breaking the 100-century break barrier, Hendry's break-building ability was legendary. He was the first player in snooker history to make over 700-century breaks, setting a new standard for excellence in the sport. His smooth, fluid cue action and precise spotting made him a formidable opponent, capable of constructing high breaks with ease. The record of maximum breaks. Hendry also earned a reputation for making maximum 147 breaks, which is the pinnacle of snooker achievement. He was the first player to make a maximum break in the World Championship, a rare feat that added to his list of career milestones. Despite his immense success, Hendry's career was not without challenges. The late 1990s and early 2000s saw increasing competition from new generations of players, including Ronnie O'Sullivan and John Higgins. As the sport evolved, Hendry's previously dominant form began to wane. He struggled with maintaining the consistency that had defined his early years, and his results began to fluctuate. The psychological pressure of maintaining his world #1 ranking began to take its toll, and Hendry also faced challenges with his physical condition. Injuries, particularly to his wrist and back, affected his ability to perform at the highest level. He admitted in interviews that the demands of maintaining peak form had started to weigh on him. However, despite these difficulties, Hendry continued to compete at a high level, even if his dominance from the 1990s had started to fade. In 2005, Hendry's world ranking dropped outside the top 10 for the first time in many years. However, he showed resilience by battling his way back into the top ranks of the sport. Hendry's ability to adapt and fight back against younger opponents was a testament to his character and mental strength, but he was no longer the invincible force he had once been. Stephen Hendry's final years as a professional snooker player were marked by a gradual decline in his performances. Despite occasional flashes of brilliance, he struggled to recapture the form that had brought him so much success. Hendry's last World Championship win came in 1999, and after that, his search for a major title became more difficult. In 2012, he announced his temporary retirement from competitive snooker but would later return to the professional circuit in 2015 after a 3-year hiatus. Hendry's return to professional snooker was met with mixed results. Although he demonstrated glimpses of his old self, he was no longer able to compete at the very highest level. His performances were marred by inconsistency, and he failed to reclaim his place among the sport's elite players. His final tournament victory came in 2012, when he won the World Seniors Championship, but after a few more years of struggles on the main tour, Hendry eventually announced his permanent retirement from snooker in 2012. Despite his retirement, Hendry's legacy has remained intact, and he continues to be a popular figure within the snooker community. Since retiring from competitive snooker, he has worked as a commentator, analyst, and pundit, lending his expertise and insights to fans around the world. His passion for the game and his deep knowledge of snooker have made him a respected voice in the sports media. Stephen Hendry's legacy as one of snooker's all-time greats is secure. His 7 world championships, 8 years as world #1, and numerous ranking titles will forever be etched in the history of the sport. Hendry's mental toughness, tactical brilliance, and break-building ability have influenced generations of snooker players, and his relentless drive for success has become an example for others to follow. More than just his titles, Hendry's personality and impact on the game have left an indelible mark. He was the player who raised the standard of snooker in the 1990s, inspiring both fans and players alike. His presence in the sport, his ability to dominate and innovate, and his unrivaled skill on the table helped elevate snooker to new heights. Stephen Hendry may no longer be competing at the top level, but his place in snooker history is secure. As one of the greatest players the sport has ever seen, Hendry's impact on snooker, both on and off the table, will continue to resonate for many years to come.